there is something you said at the beginning of that answer that it kind of sparked the thought for me, which you talked about work ethic, in that you learned a work ethic. And that is the kind of thing that I think people talk about learning at home, right? From their parents or from their community, and certainly on the job. I've certainly been in jobs where I have learned to work in a more rigorous way.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if work ethic is one of these things that we're at risk of AI chipping away for us. Because I don't know if you feel this way, but sometimes if I find myself maybe in a little bit of a lazier mindset, I can go to AI and expect it to just give me the thing that I want without putting in the hard work of thinking it through and grinding through it and being very critical of what it says back to me. I don't know. I'm curious to get your reflection on that, given what you do.
No, I think it connects to what I was saying about data analysis, right? Like
Hmm.
there's a mindset I think that the all in on AI sort of argument makes, which is that learning is like, you have a USB drive and you need to plug it into your brain. And once we download
Yeah.
the stuff, then it's good. And so if I can just ask, GPT or Perplexity or whatever, and I get the information, then I've got the information, right? Where in reality, that works for some maybe lower levels of Bloom. Like there are
Yeah.
some things that do work that way. Most is actually probably more on the side of like the process is part of the experience. And so finding an answer that you think is right and then learning why it's wrong is having a smart partner tell you like, good try, Lewis. No, the actual answer is probably in this direction. And then you go off and you find it yourself. Like that type of fast iteration with like actual experts is what
Hmm.
builds instinct. And,
Yeah.
we could go down sort of philosophical, what is knowledge versus what is known, right? And all these kind of definitional stuff. But I think there's a deeper level of understanding you get when you've experimented with the wrong answers, and that all takes a work ethic, but also b not getting lazy and passing it to AI. I think there's something out there for sure.
That's great. I had a teacher, his name was Dr. Ganong, one of my favorite teachers ever. And I remember Dr. Ganong saying to me multiple times over the course of our work together, I wish, look, if it was as easy as me just cracking open your head and dumping Latin into it, I would do that. But unfortunately, now we just need to put in the work.
Exactly. No, I think that's exactly right. And I think that the AI, approach can that at its worst, that is what
Yeah,
it's doing. At its best, it can also be a way to facilitate the good work, right? The productive
definitely.
struggle, but it can be used in many ways.
Definitely. There was a question that I have asked other guests on this podcast. I'm going to ask you this question, but I'm going to ask it to you twice.
Okay.
And I want you to answer a little differently each time.